do the commercial as well.
Okay.
My PDF book with a Z.
Peace, Noble. Be alive.
Peace, 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 everybody. All the Moors and the true light seekers in the world. I want to start off by saying love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and my 2 cents to everyone, health and wealth, and much love and much, much, much light. We're going to have a good day today, as we always have a good day. And I just want to tell everyone, man, peace and love those that love you, and never get into a religious argument or debate with anyone. Operate on the truth, and the truth will make you free. And just become a student of everything, and be willing to learn and be willing to compare. And come to a group where you can learn, where you can ask questions. At 1 p.m. AZ time zone, I'm going to host a live book sale. A lot of the books that I have PDF that you can download on your tablet, or you can go to Office Max and Staples and have the books binded like this, or you can have our other company, which is bindedbooks.com. They can bind the book for you for a small fee. So with that being said, Noble Moso, can you do our Moorish American prayer, please?
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayah Asher Ayah. Peace, 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 love, and light.
Peace, 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 love, and light. Noble Moso, I'm also on YouTube as well. I got a brother that I kind of familiar with his name, Anthony Graham. And I think I follow the brother on social media, but I know he's asking how do we join. And Noble Graham, we just want you to come to class and learn and be part of what we're doing. You can ask any questions you want. My Noble can give you his email. I can give you my personal email, which is Goodman, GOODMAN, KHARY @gmail.com. We also have our Temple and School webpage at bbtsciencetemple.com. But if you really want to get with us, you know, my Noble can give you his information. I share my information. And I just want brothers to come to class and learn. And I don't want people to start doing something and then it stop. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm a divine minister to a lot of my brothers and sisters as I continue to travel and I continue to learn. But we are a group of brothers that's here to study, that's here to learn. I don't debate with no one. I'm not here to tell somebody what's right and what's wrong. I'm here to teach science as a map and a guide. And I know everybody find God and Allah, whatever you may call it, and whatever piece of God that you may see. But here, we are a group of brothers that study and learn, and we have a full library with over 1 million books. And at the BBT, at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, we are here to learn and make ourselves better. Peace, Noble Alonzo. How you doing, Noble?
Peace, Noble. I'm traveling. Noble, with I'm logged in. His mom.
Gratitude. I was just sharing with one of the brothers on YouTube. the noble Anthony Graham. I think I've been following for a while. He's been asking how to join. And I tell everyone, you already a member if you come into class. All we ask is for small donations when you come. And when you donation to our temple and school, Cash App, $KGB, please hit me up with my email at Goodman, Goodman, Khary, Khary, at gmail.com, for I can give you literature. I want you to have literature in your hand. We have a full library. All my books have thousands and thousands of books. We have books that cost hundreds and thousands of dollars. And at our company, mypdfbook.com, we converted so many books to PDF, so you can download on your tablet. Our other company, which is bindedbooks.com, we bind and print books. So you can get these books like so, download it on your tablet, and then we print and bind them for you can have them, for you can build your library. You can study. Because a man doesn't know by me speaking, a man knows by him studying, coming back to decipher, asking questions, and we walk out the house in synchronicity. That's what we do here at the BBT. All my brothers are divine ministers. All my brothers are educators. Because I'm an educator, I'm a mapper and a guide. So all my brothers are educators and teachers. Every single one of them have the ability to stand on their own and teach and preach and give lessons to all world, to all true light seekers, no matter what your religious background is. Because Moorish science is not a religion, it's a science. And we obey and respect all the laws and the prophets. So anytime you're dealing with some Moor and they talk about all this Jesus, this, but in Moorish science, we under the triple rose. We must have a clear understanding of all the religious rites, the Fatimid, the Paraclete, the Christian or the Jerusalem, all those. So we must have a clear understanding of science, and we don't diss anything. Because if you have the science books, if you have the Moorish Quran, if you have the Silent Brotherhood of the East, it talks about Jesus, Yahshua, going through the adapt chamber. It talks about that man studying all the science and synchronizing the teachings. So we're not here to diss anything. We're here to learn. We're here to see who we are on this earth. So with that being said, I'm going to start off with our How to BBT Believe. And like I tell all my brothers, if you're looking for any literature, I have over 1 million books and documents. I have a bachelor's degree in business management with a minor in marketing and sales and nonprofit business startup. I have a dual master's degree in first century history and religion with a minor in linguistics. That don't make me better than anyone, but that shows you that I have an expertise of something. That shows you that I'm willing to share with my brothers and sisters. Man, I've been attacked by so many of my brothers and sisters on the internet, and I tell you, that shows a lack of wisdom to brothers. That shows how we don't respect each other. And as I traveled all over speaking in colleges and speaking in other platforms, that other houses of spirituality, even a lot of my brothers that's under the cloth, that's lower level Masons, we are the only group of people, misnomer black people, that can't stick together. Even when we was in our lower self and when we deal in the streets, you see other nationalities that come together. You got the Chinese Chinatown. You got the Jewish so-called society. But us as Moors, the first thing we do is argue with people, and we try to tell somebody who they're not and what Moorish science consists of, and that's not true. We can't be dealing with a whole bunch of, no disrespect, jacklegs that have a third grade reading comprehension, that dropped out of high school, and all they do is just quote books. But who are you in real life? Who do you teach in real life? Are you a real teacher? Are you a real person that's under the cloth, that real professionals listen to you and lecture, and you lecture in all those places? This is what this science is about. That's what the triple rose is about. That's what the clock of destiny is about. It's making real men. Making real men. I ask all these Moorish noble, Moso and noble, Alonzo, what do you want your kid to be? You don't want your kid to be none of these criminals and none of these fake sovereign citizens talking about they some Moorish consulate. Like all these gangs are talking about you some governor, all that. That's a gang. That's sovereign citizen, and we don't operate on no sovereign citizen. I teach real history and real science and real spirituality. The first thing I ask a brother, do you know the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment? No. Do you know what manumissions are? No. Do you know what the Reconstruction laws are? No. Do you know what the Declaration of Human Rights Article 15 is? No. Do you know what the joint resolution 75 is? No. So all these things pertaining to law, a lot of our brothers and sisters, they don't know. And that's why we be abused in the world playing a game. And this science is not a game. We're not here to, how can I say it, make some new constitution, because we already in the constitution. If you understand it, I already showed how the Moore Science Temple was made. I have the consulate booklet. A lot of people don't know what a state is. A lot of people don't know what a government body is. So all these things that I speak of, I give it to you for you can study it with your own eye. When people make up how the Moore Science Temple was set up, I give it to you in the Moorish consulate for you can see how the temple is set up. You got so many people that's talking about, oh, the 1010-9 number, some trust fund at the end of the rainbow. That's nothing but an affidavit. The 1010-99 is nothing but an affidavit. And I've shown this a plethora of times. A plethora of times. So with that being said, my brothers and sisters, thank everyone for joining us. If you like the teachings, please give a small donation to the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School to Cash App $KG Bay. Once you do that, please hit me up on my email. It's Goodman, GOODMAN KHARY @gmail.com, and I will send you literature. I've gathered and compiled over 15 books for your study. It's nothing hidden with me. It's nothing secret with me. It's sacred. Nothing secret with me. So with that being said, let's break down how the BBT believe, and we'll get into the teachings. Scientific study will illuminate to the student that Yahweh, our Elohim, the acronym GOD, the creator of this stellar and ecclesiastical universe, has stipulated in all Bibles, regardless of the translation, a pattern that he, Yahweh Elohim, gave Moses in Mount Sinai in the year 1490 BBY, erroneously referred to as BC. It is by a profound knowledge of the construction and operation of this divine pattern of the Mosaic tabernacle in relationship to every created object in the universe, whether visible or invisible, that will reveal the answer to every question concerning Yahweh Elohim and Yahshua the Messiah as he really is, and his eternal purpose and plan. Here at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, we are not a church, but a school of research founded with the idea in mind to delve into every branch of science according to the pattern of the tabernacle, which is man-made in the image of God, which is Allah. A man standing straight up with all his extremities. If you do the science of the arm, leg, arm, head, it's going to come up to a mathematical equation. And to find the answer to every question that has plagued the student from the foundation of the world, thus proving the unerring accuracy and infallibility of the biblical scriptures. Babe, can you hand me that book right on the top? In research and study, we are always using the true Hebrew names of the unity of the Spirit, not the other one that I had yesterday, of the Spirit of the so-called Godhead, instead of the title God at the Father's name. At the Father's name, we are using the correct Hebrew name, which is Yahweh. Oh, I had it, Dave. Sorry about that. Instead of Jesus Christ as the Word or the Son name, we are using Elohim, which is the correct Hebrew title of the Father, Yahweh super incorporeal form, for the Holy Spirit, which is Yahweh Elohim manifested in a physical body. We are using the correct Hebrew name, Yahshua the Messiah. See, these holy names may seem to be of a private interpretation, which we at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School has invented. But through research and study with a good encyclopedia or dictionary, anyone can discover for themselves of this great error. There was no letter J in any language until the Middle Ages. Neither was there ever a letter equivalent to the J in the Hebrew language. Therefore, such names as Jesus, Jehovah, are impossible renderings of the true name of the Father and Son. My brothers and sisters, if the text says my name is in the Father's name, then my name has to have some of the Father's name in it. So when you deal with Yahweh and Yahshua, you have the Yah, which I talk about the Yoso Somos code, or when I talk about a palindrome word. So you have Yah to the right and Yah to the left when you look up what a palindrome word consists of. A lot of times we just not reading and we under linguistic apartheid because Jehovah is Yahweh. And those are impossible names to render of the Father. All this stuff can be found in one of my books that I gathered and compiled. This is the divine pattern of the Mosaic tabernacle. And I'm going to give a couple scripture for you can write down. I've gathered and compiled a plethora of books. So to illuminate to the student, to find and know Yahweh our Elohim as he really is and exists, you can follow Matthew 24:4, 11 and 27, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 7 and 8. I don't want to give all the scriptures because there's so many. I want you to give a small donation. I will give you the book for you can learn and have it, for you can touch it, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah without distinction of race or nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. You can find that in Acts chapter 17, verse 26, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 to 23. Aim 3, to investigate the unexplained spirit law or so-called law of nature and the powers latent in man. Research Romans chapter 8, verse 1 and 4, John 1 and 9. To encourage and promote the study of the scriptures, comparative religions, psychology, philosophy, modern, practical, and occult science, 2 Timothy 2 and 15. John 5 and 39. Because in more science, we don't gravitate to one science where we miss the essence of the rest. You should know this. Everything I'm speaking on is prerequisites. You can't get into high civics if you haven't done the prerequisites. In academia, you must deal with the prerequisites before you go higher. You must have English 9.9 if you don't know the science of English 101 before you can go on. You must understand the language and the words that are coming out of my mouth before you can apply the science, which I call applied mathematics. To remove spookism, superstition, skepticism, and ignorance. Psalms 19 and verse 7 and John 8 and 32. To learn and understand the operation of Yahweh's eternal purpose through the dispensation of ages. All this is in your Moorish Quran, the dispensation of ages. Ephesians chapter 1, 9 and 10. I'm connecting the Quran and the biblical scriptures. Our prophet, the Moorish Quran was gathered and compiled from the Bible, the Rosicrucian scriptures, the occult sciences, a lot of Masonic teachings that's in your biblical scripture. To discern and avoid being deceived by Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or Satan, and the demons operating the mystery of antiquity on earth through dispensation of time. You can find that in 1 John 4, 1 and 4, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 1 and 7, Revelations chapter 12, verse 8 and 10. To earnestly contend for the common salvation and faith which was once delivered to the sons or children of Yahweh. Jude 9, Revelations 4 and 6, John 1 and 12. To make known that Yahweh from the beginning ordained there is no other name given amongst men whereby man can be saved, saving the name of Yahshua the Messiah. Acts chapter 4, verse 10 and 12, 1 Timothy 2 and 5. And last but not least, to inherit eternal life, now with the kingdom of Yahshua the Messiah, with the hope of immortal glorification, new earth state. Ephesians 1 and 13, 1 John 5 and 20, Titus 1 and 2. So I'll give you a couple key phrases. Romans 5 and 1, Psalms 29 and 11, Isaiah 55 and 12. That's peace. That's why you're going to always hear me saying peace, 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 peace. The Islam I'm under is an understanding. I have peace. That's why I don't argue with man. I don't argue with a person that's just operating on Al-Islam. I understand it, but more science is not Al-Islam. It's an understanding of all three religious rights. Speak the truth. You can find that in Zechariah in 8 and 16. But one of the aims that I love is aim 2, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood of humanity in Yahshua the Messiah, without distinction of race, nationality, creed, sex, caste, or color. That's Acts chapter 17 and 26, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 and 33, and Acts chapter 10 and 34. So before I begin with this science, as I did yesterday, and thank you for the donation, as I did yesterday, I want to start off for my brothers to have a clear understanding of how we don't get caught up in man-made religion, because they separate us. I'm going to show you how these symbols and the circle 7, the result of successful work within the previous symbols. When you look at this symbol, when you look at this symbolism right here, this 7 right here, when you look at this symbolism, it means a plethora of things. That's the archetype perfection of man. That's divinity within matter. That's the mystery of that which cannot be contained within a progressively evolving containment. That's in chapter 1 of your Moorish Holy Quran. That's the so-called Hebrew secret, but it's nothing secret with me. I break down the Kabbalah. I break down the Sephirots. I have all these teachings. And when I teach with my Jewish colleagues that I graduated with, I'm rabbi to them. I'm Melchizedek to them. That's the Hebrew secret tradition, which is the Kabbalah, the mystery of the deficit life, the containment made solvent. When you look at Eliseus Levi, the Baphomet, when you think it's something scary, and I tell you Baphomet is written Kabbalistically, which is Temp, Hob, Abs, Abba, which mean universal science and the temple of man. This is the elements that you need to know. That's death of the ego. When you see on the Baphomet the solvent Kolga, so that the rays of light, the breath of Allah, may germinate the seed buried within the grave of the ego, which is the seven, which is the seven, which is the seven, which is the seven. I'm going to show you that the divine pluralism within monotheism, the Christian Trinity, the Islamic monotheism, we're gonna do conflict resolution. I'm gonna do conflict resolution. Watch this. I'm gonna read you a text in the Bible, and then I'm gonna show you in the Quran, in the Surah, the ayat, whatever you want to call it, how it's synchronized. And brothers just operate on linguistic apartheid. They're lost in mistranslation. Listen to the text. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believed in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. That's in the Gospel, John 3:16. Now, when I deal with the Surah 112, verses 1 and 4, say he, Allah, is one. He begets not, nor is he begotten, and there is none like him. The source of the conflict, my brothers and sisters, it lies in the confusion of a microcosmic aspect of the one true reality. What true reality? God the Son and its most recognized personal manifestation. In the English form, we say Jesus, but it's Yahshua. We're breaking science down for you can have a clear understanding. This is scholarship. We're not operating on ignorance. It's only one science. It's only one law. It's only one God. If you are more from all our science, if you really know what you're saying, if you really adapt who you say you are, and you from the temple, not listen to these people on the internet that'll get you caught up, talk about they can nationalize you and denationalize you, but can no one nationalize you or denationalize you? If that's the fact, tell them to nationalize the Chinese or Sudanese. No one can nationalize you and change you from your nature that you was born. Only thing they can do is make you a Freemason. You are born a Muslim. You are born a Moor. Now you might not know the science. And you might not be part of a group, but no one can nationalize you or denationalize you. It'll change you from the descendant nature of your mother and your father. These is facts, and people are lying to you. No man you met on the internet can nationalize you and make you something. That's crazy. That's asinine, and that's idiotic for anybody to even think that. No one over here in the States is no consulate general of no Morocco. They all in jail, all of them. So the divine pluralism within monotheism, the Christian Trinity, the Islamic monotheism, conflict resolved. These are facts. Identity property of addition. I'm talking to my brothers that have a sound mind, not no brother that's walking physically alive but spiritually dead, thinking they can fill out some paperwork and you're going to get something from the government, which only thing you're going to get is locked up. Because you operate as a sovereign citizen. A sovereign and a citizen is an oxymoron. You can't be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time. You're not an individual. I want my brothers to understand this because we got to stop with the madness. Watch the conflict resolved. Identity property of addition. And any elementary student can tell you this. Identity property of addition states that the sum of zero and any number of variable is what? The number of variable itself. If you are a mathematician, if you're dealing with science, what do you mean, Sheik? 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Okay, so if that's the fact, that's indicative of only one thing, of linear, of the finite thinking. And what happens when you deal with like that? It causes the intellect and the intuition to clash. See, these are facts. Now let me give you some more science. The divine pluralism within monotheism, the Christian Trinity, and Islamic monotheism, conflict resolve. We are dealing with conflict resolution here. We are dealing with conflict revolution here. We are resurrecting our teachings taking you back to the state that you were before you were tampered with. Identity property of multiplication states that the product of one and any number of variable is that number or variable itself. 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. That's like in your Bible. That's what I did the other day. I broke down all those books in your regular Bible. I broke it down on my Facebook page. I said all these books, your regular Bible that you have under your hand speaks about this. It speaks about pi. So if the regular Bible that you have speaks about books, speaks about the book of Yasher, speaks about the book of the worlds, speaks about all these different books that I broke down the other day, why you don't have them? Because I have them. I'm not going to give you a puzzle and give a fraction of the pieces of the puzzle and say put the puzzle together, and then you come back to me and say the puzzle is finished. No, it's not. 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. This is indicative of the true Islamic thought, the infinite. And what does that do when you have this thought process, my brothers and sisters? It satisfies both what? The intellect and the intuition. These are keys. Ask anybody with any lack of common sense. The divine pluralism within monotheism, the Christian Trinity, the Islamic monotheism, conflict resolve. When I talk about how we stand on certain numbers, the 1, the 3, the 7, and the 10, the aspects of, God and man. Watch me give you a surah as I show you pictures of science. As I show you pictures of science, when I'm going to always show you things that you can see with your eye. You should understand this. All this is in your Morse code. The divine pluralism within monotheism, the Christian Trinity, the Islamic monotheism, conflict resolve. We are resolving conflict. Belief that the Lord said to the angels, I will create Khalifa in the earth. They said, will thou place therein one who will cause mischief and the shedding of blood? While we do celebrate thy praises and glorify thy name, he said, I know what you know not. That's in Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 30 and 34. But my brothers and sisters, the conflict and how people are lost in linguistic apartheid, this is how you can connect the teachings. Because the Bible term only begotten son and the Quranic term Khalifa, let me say this again, the biblical term only begotten son and the Quranic term Khalifa are identical. Therefore, when you dealing with that, now it must be a mathematical equation. So therefore, the authentic tradition maintains that Surah 2 and 30 and John 3 and 16 are describing the same event. You cannot deny these teachings. It's so easy that a child should be able to understand this. We shouldn't be out here confusing each other and we have the same books. Somebody should be able to break this down. Divine pluralism within monotheism, the Christian Trinity, Islamic monotheism, conflict resolve. As I said before, the 1, the 3, and the 10, those are the aspects of God and man. So the term the world and the earth are indicative of that which is created or manifest reality. The term God and Allah within this context, because I ask all my brothers and sisters, please stay in context when I'm speaking. If you go outside the context of what I'm saying, then that has nothing to do with me. You must be trained in a certain way to stay in context. Are indicative of the timeless, the causeless cause that is beyond all manifestation, hence beyond all comprehension. The term only begotten son and Khalifa refer to God, Allah's presence within his own creation. So the miraculous means by which the assertion takes place is referred to in your Bible as what? The Holy Ghost. Islamically as Baraka, and constitutes the authentic tradition, the line that unites what? Divinity and matter. As I break down symbols, numbers, letters, and colors, numbers are the universal language. Numbers are symbols of primordial thought forms, and thus are living things. Numbers measures vibration, thus they define differentiation, manifestation. Numbers maps patterns. Patterns are the evidence, that shadow of the unseen reality. So when you're dealing with letters, you deal with phonetic letters. When you're dealing with colors, you're dealing with visual numbers. When I talk about the table of sequential and geometrical values of the Arabic alphabet, when you're dealing with the sequential values, you're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. when you're dealing with the Arabic letters, if you know the Arabic letters, is dealing with 1, 2, 3, same thing. The English, when you break it down in the English, the Elf, the B, the Sin, the Dal, the He, the Vav, the Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you go 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Then when you're dealing with sequential value, you go 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 78. The Arabic letters, same thing. The English, same thing. The geometrical value, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Then you go to 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Numbers are letters, are working tools to map the inner, the higher realms of experience, to scientifically investigate unseen realities. That's why Lil Wayne got a song that said, men lie, women lie, but numbers and letters, they don't lie. How can you say you a scientist and you don't know how to use your compass and your square, and you dealing with a person that, and they say, well, you can't put a circle in a square? Yes, you can. If you're using your compass, they both have 360 degrees, just different parameter. You have to learn how to use your tractor. This was elementary. On your pencil, you have the compass and a square, and to show you how to do this. This is elementary science that I'm giving. I'm not giving high science. Examples of numerical explorations using the NAEQ6 code. This is code. This is mathematics. When I talk about our prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I deal with number 7-2, divine in John 15:1. I am divine and my Father is the husbandman. A clear indicator of the physical manifestation of the authentic tradition. Also, by definition, it links to the phrase 72-fold lion, which has the numerical value of what? 231. Of white tincture. Of the what? Alchemical philosopher's stone. Just like you see, when I had a brother that didn't know what I had on, he talked about some goofy brother that you got on the cross. I say, man, this is alchemy. What I have on, if you see all the science in here, because there's so much science in this right here, this is alchemy. If you look at the sign, the symbols, what I show you, this is alchemy. I have on alchemy on my neck. You just don't know it because you're not introduced to the science. That's all. That's all. And so I wanted to just give you that little bit of wisdom, that tittle of understanding, for you can have a clear understanding before I jump into the 7 seals. I'll give you just a little tittle of chapter 1 of your Moorish Quran. Just a little bit. Jurisdiction, when people thinking this, some have to do with the other. And I say, brother, you lost. You lost. You got to understand that this science is simple. It's not complex. You got to remember chapter 1, the premise, the exopolitics, and the Moorish American ontology. So if you don't know what exopolitics is, if you don't know what ontology means, you can't teach nothing. In all the world, there are 2 things. The one is truth, and the other is falsehood. And falsehood is that which seems to be true. Now, truth is aught. It has no cause, yet it is the cause of everything. The ethers cause these powers to be, and thought of Allah, of angel, man, or other thinking things, directs this force. These spirits of the true and Allah, of Allah, moved on the face of boundless space, and 7 ethers, as I give you a tittle of the 7 seals. They were, and every ether had its form of life. These planes, with all their teeming thoughts of Allah, are never seen by eyes of man in flesh. They are all compromised of substance, far too fine for fleshly eyes to see. That's why I deal with the divine and the Holy Spirit, and still they constitute what? The souls of things. That's why the study of Moorish science, specifically our Holy Moorish Quran, facilitates the growth and development, that GD, the growth and development of a unique character. And that character informs the Moorish American's thoughts. What's your thoughts? Your words and your actions, because you will reap what you sow. The key to this Moorish American ontology is detail and keen awareness, kingship and otherworldness, or life in other realms of experience besides and outside the confines of the 3-dimensional realms of the plane of things made manifest. That's why I speak of the divine. That's why I can conjure things. That's why I tell brothers the divine comes first. Moorish American exopolitics, the study of the key component systems and the processes associated with the ultra-terrestrial life, or the life on all 7 planes, the ethers, the worlds, via the powers of management. For each of these planes, the 7 Elohim, the exo-government, and the relationship between ourselves and the ultra-terrestrial life, the exopolitics, or the science of relations among the intelligent civilizations in this multiverse. Moorish American exopolitics presumes direct connection, correlations between the microcosmic processes of the eternal universe and the microcosmic process in the mind of man, with the body of man as the direct interface. Ultra-terrestrial life is defined as forms, expressions of life in the inner, the microcosmic space of the psyche, the iconosphere, and the microcosmic projections, specifically those that are perceptible in the senses of the masses of humanity, as opposed to somewhat ignorance in the archaic term extraterrestrial that only describes a narrow scope of manifestation. These intelligences are spoken of in your Moorish literature as other thinking things. It's in your Moorish Quran. Get in your Moorish Quran chapter 7 verse 18 and fact check me. And the teeming thoughts of Allah clothed in the substance of their ethers. And their preferred term ultra-terrestrial as opposed to extraterrestrial is used here as the term extraterrestrial implies a being foreign to earth, or only the material existence of life in the external universe, not indigenous to earth. And yet, as the Moorish American expression of Islam informs us that the 3-dimensional planes, the plane of things made manifest, is a manifest that is. It is an end result of a process stemming from what? A cause. Then we must acknowledge the fact that the appearance and the physical presence of extraterrestrial life is just as much as a projection as the physical part of man is. Thus the term ultra-terrestrial, my brothers and sisters, implies a being that employs interdimensional travel and as yet are capable of living amongst you and I. Question 38 in your questionnaire. You should know this in your 101s. What is an angel? You should know this. This is elementary wisdom. What is an angel? Not no one in the sky. An angel is clothed in the flesh. What's the prophet of Allah? Clothed in the flesh, that's giving you a divine message and a divine warning. But us as men, we just argue with each other and make ourselves look stupid. On the inner planes of experience, it is our teeming thoughts that are literally the life forms of the inner space. Thoughts are things, and the thought is base building blocks of the matter, material of the realms. In layman terms, with regards to the distinctions between worlds, it is less a matter of altitude, distance, and more of a matter of amplitude, vibration. I give you another fact. In chapter 5 of your Moorish Quran, we are given a description of the function of the Moorish American Islamic working tools. These are the working tools. It's in your Moorish Quran. Its detailed description presumes a powerful truth that man, that woman, himself, herself, just for himself, herself, has the power to control and manage all the life forms existing in his inner space, that he is provided with the tools to properly manage, and that being that the same tools are used on all levels of existence in inner space. There exists an overreaching uniform rule of governance that is embodied in the philosophy of these working tools. We got to know this. So I just want to give y'all a little science as I get a little deeper, so we can give a little prerequisite. When I talk about the exo-government and our relationship, our interpretation between us and these other forms of life that we call exopolitics. I'm not talking about nothing outside yourself. I'm in the third heaven right now. Your sheikh should be able to teach you the divine. Once you know the divine, then it spews out into everyday life. This order that this term presumes also informs us of our innate sense of wholeness, and that this sense must be consciously applied continually if we are enable ourselves to breach the barriers that separate the various realms of existence. When I talk about the conscious mind, when I talk about the subconscious mind, and right now I'm talking about the superconscious mind, that God-given ability, that experience and ourselves from them to participate in, to contribute to each other, and also remain in balance with each other. We're talking about the reconnecting with this sense of wholeness within. That's what I'm talking about. And this view of universal wholeness is fact, pure Islam, and the Aramaic root word, the SLM, out of which the word Islam, Muslim, Salam, etc. are derived, directly conveys the idea of wholeness, eternity, and totality, something unbroken, something undivided and harmonious. As I continue, the act of replacing the carnal, the ego-laden sense of the selfishness that gives rise to the law of self-preservation and locks us into the lowest frequency of experience, as well as separating us from the wholeness of the pleroma, which the innate sense of the universal wholeness is what we call Islamism. I want us to have a clear understanding of this. This is a clear understanding, recognizing the inner and the outer realms as a whole, including all beings within it, including you and I. We must now also recognize that every outer thought form, intelligence, life have their own needs, desire, interests, agendas. And by analogy, we can also envision groups of these beings coming together along in lines of similar technical needs, desires, interests, agendas. By this analogy, we can presume a cosmic politicization, a politicization of being thought forms of both the inner and the outer. My brothers and sisters, the teachings of our Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the teachings that I give on this subject, in layman terms, it frees our mind from the confines of the lower planes of life, and then it allows for intelligent interaction with and participation in the affairs of men, not only on the plane of manifest, but also with the intelligence of higher orders of the planes above, which do maintain interface with the material world. See, this is the science of more science. So exopolitics is the study of key component systems, processes associated with the ultra-terrestrial presence, the science of relationships among intelligent civilizations in the multiverse. More science becomes for us the general feature capable of observing ideas, teachings, and practices as they are culturally and socially annexed in the emergence of the Moorish American idea. Exopolitics for the Moorish American perspective presumes the direct connection, correlation between the microcosmic processes of the universe and the microcosmic processes of man, thereby identifying man as one, standing in the gap between the divine and the mundane. When you have your Moorish fez on that ball is the mundane ball. Being strangely mixed in this way, man is the perfect and only part of manifest creation, capable of consciously facilitating the full presence of God Allah within his own creation. I want y'all to know this. I'll give y'all a couple understanding of your Moorish Quran, and I'm going to give y'all a little bit of the 7 seals, and we out of here. Chapter 2 of your Moorish Quran. It's an Islamic and mathematic, the Aramaic letter, the number in religion scripture. You should know this. I challenge everybody. Everything that I'm getting when I teach out of different books, I can teach strictly with the Quran. Because law governs all events. When I deal with law, when I deal with local law, state law, and all that, it's in your Moorish Quran. I've done this already. It's a book in Moorish science called The Law Governs All Events. And most Moors don't have it. If they had it, you have to cut your fingers off. Because everything they doing, they lawless. Everything they doing. And when I break you down, and when I break down the science in Law Governs All Events, you can't deny it. What you can deny is that you breaking the law. That's what you can deny. That's what you have to admit. We measure time by cycles and the gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. If you don't have the Moorish Quran, I'll give it to you for free. I'll give it to you for free. I'll give it to you. I've gathered and compiled so many history books. The 14 famous scientists of history. Interpretation of the divine creed of of Islam. The esoteric science of the Feds. Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. Moorish American Light of Ali, the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, and the House of Ali Mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt Prophet and Angel. It's nothing secret with me. I have it all. I gathered and compiled a plethora of wisdom for you can know for yourself. Time was never when man was not. My brothers and sisters, when one joins an occult ain't nothing but culture, exoteric or otherwise, they say secret order. Immediately upon completion of the initiation into that organization, one is given a mystical or otherwise alternative history. But I'm not dealing with that. I'm breaking down this history so you don't get caught up in the mystic stuff. Or alternative history of the world. And the new history is always shockingly different from what the new initiate knows. Remember in the movie The Matrix? Remember this? Morpheus admitted he couldn't exactly tell Neo what the Matrix was. He had to be experienced in it himself. And that's what I do with you. I hold your hand and walk with you as a guide. It ain't about what I say. I break things down as a teacher and show you for you can raise up yourself. And then you can raise up everyone around you. And then we can operate as a body, as a culture. The strangest of the alternative secret worldwide shocks the initiate at the beginning. That's what you got to understand. The sacred of the mystos. That's what I teach you. No secret with me. No secret with nothing that I teach. I want you to know all this stuff is in man. All this stuff is in man. In your Moorish Quran, it teaches us that Jesus, Yahshua, achieved a particular state of being that I have. That state can only be described using the energetic model for not only the universe, but for the reality of man himself. It's in your Moorish Quran. And in that chapter, it explains in a very brief but telling way a process by which man himself may become the philosopher's stone. Right in your Moorish Quran, transforming himself from his base self. As you see this, my alchemical chain, changing yourself from your base self to your noble self, using the body as the curable for the transformation. And to go into detail on the initial process or the specific methods of this transformation, I have to go deeper and deeper into teachers. That's why I want brothers and sisters to be students. If I'm feeding you, it's worth a donation. I'm going to give you more than what you give. And I'm going to give you a taxes and receipt for all my brothers that work real jobs to claim on your taxes, because your taxes don't go to run a government. It sits in a private banking system, and I'm a private banking system. And so it would be avoided. Suffice to say, the preliminary objective would be to gather the necessary level of energy into the system to work with. It was well known that the brain in the average human being only utilized 10% of its capability. And it's a simple matter to imagine some of the results activating the other 90% via increasing the energy capacity of the human energy system as we work out, as we do all these things that the average man cannot do. We charge our batteries back up. In your Moorish literature, having location in Heliopolis, Egypt, India, and the Archpholius in Greek, it was so-called Jesus, which is Yahshua, that became the living embodiment and proof of the motto. And it was made known to those in the Silent Brotherhood of the East. It's in your Silent Brotherhood of the East. Any more that's dissing anything today, you should run from them. This is the so-called chakras per se, which is in your Moorish Quran. It's too much for me to teach. That's why I teach in parts. I'm almost done. I got about 15 more minutes. In chapter 4, the significance of the number 7 in your Moorish Quran. As I jump into other teachings, the seven seals. I want you to have a little base for you can come back and ask questions. I want you to give donations so I can give you all the literature so you can build your library, so you can have a plethora of And then I'm a guide and map. I can sit with you. I can go over the words. I can show you what the words mean in Latin. I can show you what the words mean in Greek. I can show you the etymology and the etymon of words so you can put the pieces of the puzzle together so you can know for yourself and you can save yourself and then you can save everyone around you and we all come to the same storehouse. And now we a power unit. Remember in your Moorish Quran, when I talk about the chakras and the teachings of the prophet, it's only one chakra that control all the rest. And Jesus said, truth is the only thing that changes not. In all the world, there are two things. The one is truth and the other is falsehood. And falsehood is that which seems to be. Now truth is aught and has no cause, and yet it is the cause of everything. Falsehood is not. Falsehood is not, and yet it is the manifest of right. Man is the truth, and falsehood strangely mixed. Man is the breath made flesh. So truth and falsehood are conjoined within him. That's Jesus conversing with Lamas, with the Brahmas. That's in your Holy Moorish Quran, chapter 7. Also in the Silent Brotherhood of the East. As Jesus, as myself, went through the adapt chamber. And I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a book written within, and on it the backside sealed with what? 7 seals. You can also find that in Revelations chapter 5 verse 1. You can't take one without the other. To begin, you got to understand and you got to take an analytical look at that passage from the Holy Quran. Specifically the statement, man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Because the use of the words truth and falsehood, we are almost immediately inclined to see them as a polar opposite, or worse, one being good and the other being bad. But neither of these are accurate, my brother. And those above passages, they explain. Falsehood is that which seems to be. Yet it is the manifest of right. I hope we keeping this in your hippocampus. This tells the student, this tells anyone that falsehood, no, is not the opposite of truth. For it was then both would be mutually dependent upon the other, not being able to exist without the other. This passage tells us that falsehood is a projection emanating from truth, and a shadow is just cast by a solid object, and the object can and does exist absent the shadow, but the shadow cannot exist absent its cause, aka the object. This is truth. So when we contemplate the phrase man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed, my brothers and sisters, we should immediately banish all thoughts and ideas of man being hopelessly shackled to the dichotomy of good and bad, hence giving ourselves the false sense of security that Allah winks at our wrongdoings, and the position of man being in the peculiar position of truth and falsehood strangely, skillfully, artfully mixed is crucial indeed to the divine plan of the ages. For as illustrated figuratively on the cover of the Moorish Quran, when you look at the Moorish Quran questionnaire and the book of Revelations, the 10th chapter, man has 1 foot in divinity and 1 foot in matter. And this makes him the literal keystone and the entire mystery of existence. I'm almost done, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of the 7 seals. If you got any questions, please ask me. Now let us get to the specific topic of chakras. The term chakra is a Sanskrit term denoting wheel. Just like the Christians, they say a wheel in the wheel. Up in the middle of the air, or the eye of province. In Moorish science, our eye is not contained with no triangle. Just like your feathers is not tied down. Your tassels spin freely. Your tassel spins freely. But it denotes a wheel and specifically describes 7 major energetic centers correspond to the 7 ductless glands of the endocrine system. There are any about my people in the medical field, when I deal with anatomy, when I show you that man is made in the image of God, when I break down the anatomy, when I break down your eyes, your hands and everything, I break down your veins and everything. That's the tabernacle built without hands, and the biblical scriptures testify to what I'm telling you. There are various methods of activating or setting these wheels in motion. And since an entire it'll take me an entire topic to break it down. I'm going to avoid discussing all of them in its entirety and focus on what exactly chakras are and what their functions is in relation to teachings of our prophet Noble Drew Ali and what Moorish science consists of. You got your Moorish Quran. If you don't have it, I'll give it to you. Long as you give a small donation, I'll give you a couple other my books and anything else you're thinking about. But as I show you this little teaching, chapter 1 of your Moorish Quran, we're taught that man has a real presence on the three planes at one time. At this position, location on these three realms actually intersect or occupy the same space, separated and distinguishable only by what? Difference in vibratory rate. This is the key, because we know that in the dealing with the psychics or with the physics of the material, the three-dimensional plane of manifest, two or more things cannot occupy the same space at the same time. That is, two or more things that are of material plane. However, the more rarefied substances not only can occupy the same space at the same time, but routinely do, as the essence and perfumes emanating from two different scented lit incense sticks, intermingling and form a third. Gratitude for the donation. Unique essence perfume. In this example, our own mundane use of our senses can detect and perceive an occurrence from another realm, dimension of experience. The olfactory function of our nose is the example, and it dictates an energetic shadow cast in the three-dimensional plane of manifest of an actual occurrence on the plane of soul. My brothers and sisters, so what does this have to do with your chakras? What does it have to do with your chakras? Man, I can show y'all the Jet Propulsion Laboratory scientist, Richard Hoagland. He presented a brief to the United Nations. I don't have time to break all that down, but I've done it already in my teachings already to show you these three different realms and what you can see with the eye. I just wanted to give you a little bit of introduction. Chapter 5 of your Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 1 and act 2, and chapter 11 is a comparative understanding. You see how I'm synchronizing the Quran? This is simple. This is elementary. Act 2 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, using chapter 1 and 2 of your Holy Moorish Quran as tools for further understanding and explanation. As this act speaks of the symbol we know as what? The circle 7. And it's necessary to first expound briefly on the topic of the symbol, so you can have a better appreciation of what our prophet communicated, what I'm showing you, what I'm resurrecting to us by presenting us with this symbol. This is very simple. I say communicate because this is exactly what a symbol does. It's a book by Albert Churchward, and I hope all y'all get it from me. I'll give it to you PDF, but you can have on your tablet. It's a book called Signs and Symbols of the Primordial Man. You want that book. What is a symbol? These tools remind me of the tools we use in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and we build up character. Nobles, when you look at this symbol, when you see the 7 and when you see the compass and the square in that, but you let people think our science come from some lower level Freemasons, and I say that's sad. Let me give you this little bit of understanding. The circle 7, all meanings are being opened and closed promptly according to the circle 7 of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The circle 7 we now and we know is the signature symbol of the Moorish American Muslim. And opening the meeting promptly and according to the subline symbol reminds us to model and emulate the myriad of lessons this symbol has to do to communicate to you and I. Endless volumes can be taught on the sheer amount of information conveyed by this symbol. I can do a whole teaching on this, on the 7, with the compass and the square entwined in the 7, with the compass and the square entwined in it. It's a mathematical equation. It's a mathematical equation, a graph representation of perfect man's complete anatomy. Chapter 5 speaks of the tools we use in the workshop of the mind. 2 of them being what? Your compass and your square. And these 2 are said to do what? To be used to do what? Build the temple of the perfected man. What the emblem demonstrates graphically is the result of the work of the tools. namely the construction of the symbol for what? The spirit, the circle, and the symbol for matter, which is the square. It is the combination of the two symbols into what? One squaring the circle. One squaring the circle. When I get the circle, put a line down and line across. 90, 90, 90, 90. When I get the square and put a line and square it off, square it off, square it off in the four corners. You got 90, 90, 90. I can put them both and they fit perfectly. It's the combination of the two symbols into the squaring of the circle, which the points of the square touch the circle at the cardinal point, symbolized by the breaks in the circle. The representation, the completed symbol of the perfected man. Truth, spirit, falsehood, manifest, soul, strangely, mysteriously mixed. And the 4 points where the square touches the circle, it represents a firm grounded foundation of spirit into the soul of souls. Indeed, a perfect dwelling for the presence of Allah within his creation, the 7 inside the square circle. I told y'all this is very simple. When you look at this Kabbalistically symbol, that's man. That's man. When you look at that symbol, thanks for the donation, Noble. Signs and symbols are going to break down so many things. So I just wanted to show you that. I just wanted to give you a little pictorial of that. I got 10 minutes left. So I want to show you a little bit. And this is in the 7 seals. You can get all this science from me. I have a plethora of books. I'm not going to hold nothing back. But then I don't need the books to teach it, because I can teach it right with the Moorish Quran. So let me give you just an introduction of the 7 seals, and we out of here. The 7 seals is a metaphor of the occult tools that we can aspire to develop as a human, but also as a, spiritual being. By observing nature, specifically the human nature, we have become masters at understanding how we work inside our mind. That's why it's so, how can I say it, relevant about your working tools. Above power, there is truth. Engulfed in this truth, we can cease to be simple human animals. We become filled with the essence that composes the whole of the universe, and we finally understand everything. Many paths are pointing to the heavens, but all of them are challenging, either at the mental or the emotional level, some even at the physical level. That's why a lot of brothers are struggling. I'm going to show you, thanks for the donation. I want you to just be a student, and I'm giving you small prerequisites to guide you through a new experience. The material is presented in a specific order. That's what I'm doing. I'm giving you prerequisites. And my first goal is to open a door. That's the first thing I'm trying to do, to open a door for you to consider, not to try to convert you, because that's not my job. I know who I am. You will be encouraged to become your own master, as all my noble muftis are. All my brothers and sisters are noble divine muftis. All of them. I'm just a map and a guide. All my brothers are divine noble muftis. Every last one of them. And you will be encouraged to become your own master here at the BBT. Because I'm going to give you all the teachings to save yourself. Not to be influenced by outside sources or dogmas or majestic names. It is important to give credit to the component teacher and a competent teacher. I'm a teacher and a map and a guide. So why not give credit to your teacher and to your map and guide? Why not? We tip when we go out to eat and get bad service. I'm not asking no one to pay me, but if it's worth something, I operate on donations. And the donation that you give, I'm going to give back and give you everything that you need. It does not mean that you have to give up your own personal integrity to do so. By learning to trust yourself, you will be able to trust others. And maybe you will open your mind to higher sources of knowledge. But do not forget who you are and who is in charge of your life. Yourself, the God within, the Holy Spirit. I want you to know that. So to expose the 7 seals in their most sacred approach, I'm going to give you just an introduction. We have also provided an important ancient text. I'm going to spell it for you. The Theurgia, the Thurigal. It's called the Arbitral of Magic. The Arbitral of Magic, written around 1575. I have all these manuscripts. I had to because I was introduced into the teachings. I never lied to no one. I get so many, just like they call it the prophet some Freemason and all this. I get all that from my brothers and sisters on the internet. But you can't find no charter. I ain't took no oath. We play that game, so this brother must have took the oath. Well, go find it. You can find my charter if I took some oath. Just like I can. That's like I know your charter if you some Freemason or in some fraternity. I know where your charter at. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. But that's what we do as brothers and sisters when we don't have the wisdom. We start attacking our brothers and false accusing people over something. You have to be introduced to the science to have a clearer and a more higher understanding of wisdom. That don't mean you took no stupid oath. If I took an oath, then where it's at? It's written in Old English, but it's quite easy to follow. It will inspire you in the ways that the ancient magi's practiced this wonderful art of communication with the universal forces. That's why all my nobles, even when I travel on the airplanes, the pilots, regular people, the first thing they come up to me is say my energy. The first thing people want to touch my hand and touch a ribbon. I don't care what color they are. I'm in Arizona, which is a red state. My empress right here. I travel with my turban, my fez, my yarmulke, my kufi, whatever you want to call it. I get no respect. I get no disrespect from Europeans. They say they love my spiritual headdress and they ask me, am I a magi or a sheik or a divine? And I teach them and their kids, especially on college campuses. So the science that I teach you, it includes art of the elemental magic. I'm encouraging you to develop harmonious relationships with the spiritual world that populates one beautiful nature. So as I give you just this little tittle, brothers and sisters, I'm going to give you a direct existence, the plane of existence. The human experience is lived on many levels simultaneously, which I just broke down, and only a brief description of the different planes of human existence. I will give more information as you become a student and learn. Most people are only aware of the physical reality, and even then it is filtered with the condition of your mind. And only a few people will also be aware of their mental activity. For the emotional plane, the candidates are aware. They are aware harder to find, and very few people feel the plane of willful power and bioelectricity. You must understand that the four planes of human existence are mental, emotional, ethereal, and physical. You must understand all those things. I give you the Kabbalah, which is the Hebrew science. That's the origin of most occult sciences and magical systems. It's been used by all the magi's and wise men for thousands of years. In this science, the human being is considered to be a universe in itself. First developed by the so-called Jewish people, then followed by the Christian occultists. And this profound concept of the working of the universe is applied to the microcosmos, the big universe, and the microcosmos, the small universe of the human being. In money, I talk about microeconomics and macroeconomics. Although anyone's interpretation is personal to each is his own path. You got to know this. You got to know this. It's your own path. And you will notice that we get a more authentic experience by respecting the original Hebrew text. And the only way to get to the core of the Kabbalah, my brothers and sisters, is to ready and to read the original Hebrew, the Paleo, which I teach you. The Hebrew text, like a Kabbalist would, like I am, like my nobles are, with the understanding of the tradition. It is useful to start with the simple and mentally accessible tools the Kabbalah provides. As I close, the tree of life is a graphical representation of the complete system of the Kabbalah. It represents the 10 planes of existence linked together by the 22 types of energies that exist in the universe. Each of these 10 planes of existence is a sphere called, as my Jewish brothers and sisters call it, the Sephiroth. And it contains all the experience and creative powers of this specific plane. The 22 links between them, it took form in the shape of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet gave birth to the 22 major cards of the Torah, to the astrological signs, to the name of the angels, Almost every occult science of the occult has a link to the Kabbalah. Kabbalah is very rich in science that explains every aspect of human existence in the intellectual, understandable way, as a child can understand it. So you must understand that this science is deep. I want y'all to know that. If I show y'all the pentagram, the European, no disrespect, Alicius Levi, look at that pentagram. It's a good example of applied occult symbolic derived from Kabbalah. I'm going to show you the symbology as I close. Every detail has its own importance and adds to the efficiency of the talisman. As I finish, my noble will give our talisman benediction. The true power comes from understanding the meaning of the symbols that create the final design. It is an inspiration for virtue and wisdom. It renders its full efficiency with the occultist it has developed inside you and the virtues that the symbol represents. Look, as I show y'all signs and symbols, I want you to come learn so you get out of all spookism. Only a teacher will give you everything so you can learn. Only a teacher would do this. I don't want to give too much more. I just wanted you to see these signs and symbols as I break it down in more studies. As I break it down that a child can understand this symbology. When I talk about the symbol standing straight up, where these are good symbols, when you see it standing straight up with man in it, it's standing straight up. But then when you get with the lower science, let me give you a clear understanding that the pentagram is a 5 penta, a point image, a gram, the pentagram. The penta is a 5 penta. Point image is a gram made out of continuous line with 5 equal angles. It calls upon the force of the 5th Sephiroth, Geburah, the strength and the concept of motion and action. Therefore, it is used in rituals to initiate the action of the operation, to call for a movement of energy. That's what I bring to my brothers and sisters. Watch this. It is represented in your hand with what? With your 5 fingers. But most of all, it is represented in your body with your 5 extremities. What extremities are you talking about, Sheik? 2 legs, 2 arms, and your head. So the pentagram with 1 pointing up and 2 pointing downward is the symbol of the virtuous man. Using this symbol will encourage you to imitate the virtuous and expand your consciousness in your actions. See, that's the virtuous man, standing straight up with all his extremities. But then when you get with the other science, the lower level science, the pentagram can also be reversed to symbolize the falling man. And that's what our sisters with the Masonic and the Eastern Star, but you a star of the East, the white fez with the gold tassel represent all our stars of the East. I'll break it down. And the DAR, which is the Daughters of American Revolution, has stripped you from your science. It represents the falling man or the decaying being. It has 2 points pointing up and only 1 pointing down. I'm going to show you. And it's mostly used by the unconscious and the uninformed black magis and the black masons per se. Here we go. It's right there. You can see it with your eyes. All of the ladies, the Eastern Stars, that's the symbol that they have. And that's sad. So as I close, I'm showing you this. That's upright. That's upright. You got spirit, water, fire, earth, and air. And when you invoke the pentagram in your science, you must see it clearly in your mind. That's what I want you to understand. So I'm going to end it with that. I say gratitude, Islam. Do anybody got any questions? Anything they want to add? I'm open for questions. Like I tell my brothers and sisters, I'm okay with being accused by my own people with lower science. I'm okay with that. But we operate on a higher science, and you must be initiated and teach the science. Our prophet told you he gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared the Moorish Quran. So when I talk about our Rosicrucian manual, the Unto Thee I Grant, I'm speaking of all manuals that our prophet constructed the Moorish Quran. When I talk about the Brahmin text, man, in your Moorish Quran and in the Brahmin text, it's word for word. When I talk about the Moorish Akashic records, I can show you word for word that's in your Moorish Quran. So with that being said, man, I say gratitude, and for everyone taking time out y'all day, and for everyone giving a donation. If you have any questions, I'm open for any questions. I want you to join us on our StreamYard to be my private guest for a small donation. You get a taxes and receipt, and for your donations, I give you books. Any questions? My email is Goodman, Goodman, Khary, Khary, at gmail.com. Anybody with slander or anybody with crazy stuff, I'm just going to block you. I have no problem with that. Any questions, my brothers and sisters? Any questions? Noble Moso?
No, just gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons. Like you said, a lot of this synchronizes with a lot of the books we got and offer. So, I mean, we welcome brothers and sisters to reach out and get some of the books from the different platform, all the platforms we have. We all have access to a plethora of knowledge and books just to enhance your study and get a clearer, deeper understanding.
Islam. And we're here as brothers to continue to teach and continue to grow and continue to share the wisdom with all our brothers and sisters. So with that being said, man, at 1 p.m., I'm going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be offering a few books. I'm going to take a break. I got to get me some lunch. So in 1 hour, I don't know if my Noble Moso will be available. I don't know. If not, it's okay. I will be on my YouTube channel. This platform, my YouTube channel. I will also be on our Facebook page. Well, my Facebook page, which is Khary Goodman Bey. I don't know if my Noble will be on our Temple and School page, but our Temple and School page is on Facebook as well. But if my Nobles are not available to stream it, I will be on my personal Facebook page at Khary Goodman Bey and on my personal YouTube channel, which you guys are on right now. Please subscribe to our YouTube Temple and School page, which is Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. Please subscribe to our Temple and School Facebook page, which is the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. And thank you, everybody, for your charitable contributions. I told you my email, anything that you need, any books, anything that you want to ask, long as it's imperative, long as it's not hearsay, she say, I will answer it in the best way, because you don't care about what I say. You should care about what I can prove and what I can show you and help you. So with that being said, do anybody got any other questions or anything that they want to share? Or gratitude. Noble, can we get our Moorish American prayer, followed by our Talesman benediction, and we out of here.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, Ayah Asher Ayah, Hotep, peace, love, and light, Islam.
Wow.
Now the Talesman's benediction. May the benison of Allah be upon thee and thine always, and thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thy evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield in the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft, for behold, the key to salvation already rests in thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our own nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting life. Al-Makran, Al-Rahim, Ya Haq, Ya Muhammed. Peace, 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 peace,
Peace, peace, peace, peace, peace, peace, peace, peace, peace. Tune in for our book sale.
Peace.
Peace, Noble Dre Sean. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
And I want to end with this, nobles. Reading and learning fundamental. We have a library with over 1 million books. We want to start having these book sales to put in y'all hands. I'm going to be offering books for $5 PDFs and $10 PDF where you can download on your tablet and have. You can go to Office Max and Staples and they'll print the book like this. Or you can go to our sister company, binditbooks.com, and they'll print and bind it. But binditbooks.com is our other company where we print and bind expensive and rare books. Please check us out. Ask some questions. Share this with us, man. We want to share this, man. We want to help our brothers and sisters learn. So nothing is new under the sun. So if you a studier, if you a philosopher, I don't care what science you're in. I have history, math, I have agriculture, I have finance books, I have occult books, I have all the books that you need, a plethora of wisdom. Join the BBT. And with your donations, you can build your library. You can get a clear understanding. So this book sale will be at 1 p.m. Once again on this platform. Like I said, if my noble will be able to join at 1 p.m., he'll send out the link to us again. We can jump back on here at 1 o'clock and we can share it. If not, it would be on my personal YouTube page, which is Kari Ibn Hakeem Goodman Bey, and also on my personal Facebook page, which is Kari Goodman Bey. With that being said, man, I love y'all. Thank you for taking time out your day for listening to me. And truth has no size. Peace, light, and elimination. Take us out, Moso.
That's books with a Z.
Just to share some of the companies that we offer, like you said, starting with, like you were saying, bindedbooks.com. Get rare printed books through this platform. You also have mypdfbooks.com, the reading fundamental. We have Mayat Sons, Tea of Teas, Divinely Prepared, Herbal Blends, Herbal Remedies. And if you need any fez, turbans, kufis, suits, Moorish regalia, we have MoorishHaberdasher.com. And last but not least, we have the soundtrack of our movement, BH Bay Music, our noble Brian Hicks Bay, transportation of raw materials, download on all platforms.
No, but we gotta get Noble Alonzo's his logo for ALO Design Pros. Let's make sure we get that. We also have another platform with our Noble Alonzo Wright Bay. He's the graphic design. He designed everything for us. He does web design, web pages. He even counsel you if you have a web page and it's not how you want it. He does with the AI. He does everything. And this company is called ALO Design Pros. ALO Design Pros. ALODESIGNPROS. Check him out. We do everything in-house. So we should spend our finances in-house. And when you spend finances with me, we give gifts. When you get books from me, I'm the only platform that can give you something for your purchases. And we have expensive and rare books that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have them converted to PDF and we can print them and bind them for you. So thank you for taking time out your day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to be back at 1 p.m. for our quick little book sale. I'm going to be offering a few books for $5 and $10 that you can download on your PDF onto your tablet, to your cell phone, and you can go to Office Max and Staples and they can print them and bind them just like this. They'll print the books and bind them just like this. They'll print and bind the books just like this. Or if you want our company, bindedbooks.com, to do them and keep all your money in-house, we can do it for you at bindedbooks.com. So please tap in. Today is going to be a time where you can build your library with expensive and rare books that you may have heard of and be like, whoa, I'm going to offer a lot of these books for you for a small fraction of a dollar today. So you can build your library. And as you're looking on Amazon, and I hope some of my nobles be there, so they can talk about some of the expensive books that we have that we're gonna offer for PDF for y'all. Some of the expensive books might be a little bit more than $10, but it's worth it. Once you print and bind it, you want the wisdom. So please tap in and tell a friend. I love y'all, man, and peace.
Peace.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Peace, family.
Peace.
Peace and love. See y'all in a minute. Noble Moso, would you be able to be back in an hour, maybe?
Yeah, I think I may be able to. I just got to see about clearing up some space on the stream.
Okay. Just keep me in the loop, man. If not, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go live
right.
on. I'm gonna go live on my personal streams.
Indeed.
Peace and
Said
love.
about an hour.
Yep.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, Rich,